2008, I founded a sovereign nation in a square in Oslo. I was the national leader of the state. This was the woman, the national muse. The nation was an antithesis to the Scandinavian welfare state. The black man. The last farewell to him. We went to our future territory. A holy procession established a new society. I painted the borders of our state and formulated the national law. Women were not allowed to enter the territory, nor were immigrants. The state was the gateway to the square. He ignored our sovereignty. I tried to stop the ignorance. Suddenly, a group of anti-fascists came out of nowhere. The punks understood the fascist core of the project and wanted to stop it. They expropriated my brush and painted on me. Made me fall in the valley of absurdity. With satisfaction, they threw me out of the state. They eliminated the nation of the teddy, the big iron man. In 2008, as a consequence, I founded an exile government at the artist's house in Oslo. I commented on the territorial loss. The state was reduced to a historic film. The Iron Man was now an Iron Man in absentia and made of wood. The woman performed the national anthem. The Baroque Kurt painter Trine Folmo painted a portrait of me. I burned the papers which had reduced our state to an artistic event. The black man was now a black plastic man. I made the exile government become reality in a 7-hour durational worship of the absent Iron Man. In 2009, I founded the state religion at Kulturkirken Jakob, a church in Oslo. I explained the religious base of our constitution. I had the book. On the altar, Christ was already born. I didn't notice. Did the woman? I adored the Iron Man in absentia and made of wood. I knelt at his feet. The black man was in the center of power. I made a soup. I made a fish soup. Today I know fish is a symbol of the Christ, but at that time I was still in the Old Testament. I gave an angry sermon from the pulpit. God demanded Abraham to kill his son. Abraham was about to obey. I whipped myself, for I tried to prove the holy pain. I wanted to say yes to all the pain in the world. I was crucified by the black man I had thrown out of my state, but I couldn't bear the pain. I left the Skull Hill behind me. I didn't take my cross. I followed the Iron Man. In 2010, I founded the National University of Bestiality at Black Box Theatre in Oslo. I didn't follow the beautiful woman. I followed the Iron Man. The Zen Buddhist meditated. I discussed with the humanistic philosopher Arne Johan Vetlesen. I tried to be consistent and forgot my heart. The soup was not a fish soup, it was poultry. Chicken doesn't symbolize Christ. Chicken doesn't symbolize anything. They only cry and cry and cry. They bleed and bleed and bleed. They try to fly in vain. They bleed and die and bleed and die. The flesh is prepared for the soup, graze the poultry. The birds were sitting on a row with our flags in their hands. The Zen Buddhist was now a sadomasochist. Pain and charity became one. Was love still possible? We tortured the audience and tortured ourselves. The chorus didn't sing, they were dumb birds and flew away. I was a zombie on the screen, present in absentia. Could it be love? They said it was. They said that pain was charity. But it was not passion, not the passion of the Christ. The crucifixion was unreal. It was theater, nothing else. The woman was tired but never stopped playing the eternal Church of Pain. The theater director told me his opinion about fiction and faction. I celebrated the victory on the iron skeleton of the wooden man. The final victory was the final defeat. The smile was lost, the heart was cold. It stopped beating inside the old Iron Man. In 2011 I erased the state in Oslo. The Iron Man had lost. I removed the flag. 1 month before, the terrorist Anders Behring Breivik had bombed the government buildings in Oslo. He disliked the power of women and the influence of immigrants. With the flag I went to the destroyed government buildings, close to the lost state. I was ashamed. I had stigmatized the weak and celebrated the strong. On my knees in front of the destroyed government buildings, I wanted to erase the past. Prayed for forgiveness. and went to the island of the lost Iron Man. In 2011, I abdicated as a state leader in front of the island Utøya. I burned the flag. I bowed for the victims. I took off my laurel crown. I placed it as a wreath to the flowers and candles of the families. I took off my state uniform. I jumped into the water, swam to the island, where the terrorist had killed 69 people. The sun made a cross. It became darker. After an hour, I came back from the island. I was exhausted. I put on a t-shirt, jeans and a jacket. Forgive us, I'm not an Iron Man.